Alright folks, welcome back. It is turn 6, and things are still going pretty peachy, albeit slow. Battle in Nam, we lost 1 Red Guard and 1 Footman, wiping out the Lion Tribe, and we have purchased the Far Strikers. Now, I was looking at my provinces that were around me, and I was thinking, well, maybe I could split up, try and take 2 provinces this turn, but then I decided, you know what, actually, I do want to take these Amazons, and I feel like both of these armies are a little bit small, so we're going to combine them. We're going to gang up on the Forest of Long Nights, combine these armies, and then head south with them and use them to take Batagne here. This palisade will be done in 3 turns. New Yu is searching in Bithine, and then he will construct a lab to go with this fort. I'm also considering starting a palisade here in Frosted Peaks because it has a ton of resources. So if I were to build a palisade here, I could use those resources to pump out a lot of Imperial crossbowmen, probably. The alternative, and what I'll probably end up doing, is taking this province, Ministra, if I can, before Ulm gets there. Obviously that's Ulm because it's Order Drain Dominion. Now that's a big and well-fortified province, so I may not end up taking it before Ulm, but I will at least take Batagne and then try to push down into the Forest of Springs as well. This army is building up. I'm recruiting 4 Red Guard and 4 more infantry this turn. Then that army will head over here, take Panofia, or head north to Anasia, one of the two. Haven't decided. I'm hoping that one of these days my dominion will spread into Anasia, and I'll be able to see what the resources and income of that province are, but it hasn't happened yet. And then we'll try to double up and grab this, and I would like to also grab that. I would like to have my borders pushed out to 2 provinces away on that side. We'll see if that happens. Over here, we have seen Jotunheim. So that's a little bit distressing, although to be honest, I can deal with giants pretty well. I cannot outfight this army, unfortunately. So Ying Ying is going to move down here in an effort to find Jotunheim's capital and sit on it and get me a little bit of information about them, because she is a spy, and so she gets to see some of the score graphs if she gets into an enemy capital. But this army definitely can't stop that army. We can look at that army in Vokan. He's got 13 Garm Herdings and then a couple of other random units, and we can check out to see what his Bless is, which I actually don't remember. Yep, this is his original expansion party, it looks like. So his Bless is just Reinvigoration at the moment, which almost certainly means he has a dormant or imprisoned pretender. So 1 Garm Herding was killed. The others just pretty much chewed through the independents with no trouble. They've got a couple of afflictions scattered around. Several afflictions, actually, but Garm Herdings do have to be kind of taken respectfully because they hit so hard. They'll chop through most enemies in 1 hit. So they take casualties, obviously, as you can see, but they also inflict a lot of casualties. So I don't really want to fight this army if I don't have to. I certainly don't want to fight it with this army because they would crush it. Defense skill 17 versus their 16 attack, they're fairly likely to hit, and when they hit, they would just straight up kill the Red Guard immediately. So wouldn't be worth that trade, not until I've built up quite a few more units. So, not sure where these guys are going to go. Hopefully they'll double back and go take these provinces, but they may push into Ghent, in which case I'm just going to have to deal with having them that close to me. I have contacted Satis and Bandar Log. We've made a non-aggression pact with Satis. He's agreed to come no further in this direction, so I will end up taking Neotha unless Bandar Log does in the next turn or so here. I was going to move him north, but actually I'm going to head him over here into Bandar Log. Once this fort is completed, we'll go take that. Of course, I'm also aiming to take Oak Beach as well. So that should happen sometime fairly soon. That 186 income is looking pretty delicious. So that is definitely a target, and another place where I would like to build a fort. It's turn 6. By turn 8 or 9, I'd like to have a second fort under construction, which shouldn't be a problem income-wise. Possibly here in Batagne, or possibly it's 6, 8, 9. What I could do is I could build up this army for 1 extra turn and then try and go take Oak Beach. It's got some heavy cavalry, but it's primarily light cavalry and militia, so I feel like my Red Guard should cut through it fairly well. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do with mercenaries. There'll be a couple more units of mercenaries coming available next turn, so I may be able to recruit a whole bunch of chaff and just swarm Oak Beach. And like I said, 186 income per turn, worth it. And that doesn't even have all of my scales in it yet, so it'll only go up from there. And like this province actually has enemy scales in it right now. Its income is still 163 despite being in misfortune. Oh, misfortune 3. I don't like it. I don't like it. But it's this awake god is pushing my scales away. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, the devourer of souls. So that is the turn for now. Got our scouts moving, got recruitment happening, fort building, sites searching, and we're going to go in and take out these Amazons and work on completing our cap circle. I want to at least have the cap circle pretty much completed by the end of year 0. Expansion is slow. We only have 5 provinces on turn 6, so steady but a little bit slow. But as soon as we get our second expansion party out, should pick up a bit. I am definitely aiming to have 12 provinces at least by the end of year 0. And with 12 provinces and my fantastic scales, that should give me the income to remain competitive. So we'll see how it ends up. I'll see y'all in turn 7. Okay, folks, turn 7. We've hit Thaumaturgy level 2. Battle in the Forest of Long Nights. We don't necessarily need to watch this. I did lose pretty much all my footmen, 1 horseman and 1 red guard, but we wiped out the defenders, so we've got this Jade Amazon province. We got some cursed units in Tianqi, unfortunately. I don't know who it was. I haven't checked. Who was cursed? None of my mages seem to have been cursed. Which of my units are cursed? Did I just get a curse event that didn't actually curse anybody? It sure looks like it. It looks like I got a curse event that didn't curse anyone. Unfortunately, this province is pretty sucky, but I will be able to recruit Jade Sorceresses here, so I'm actually not going to build a palisade here. I was going to do that, but I'm not. I'm going to move one of my mages down here and build a lab, and just start slowly recruiting Jade Sorceresses, you know, every other turn. I don't need an actual palisade here. That would be overkill. I could also recruit Jade Maidens, which aren't terrible. And they don't require resources, but they do require recruitment points, and the recruitment points here are garbage, so there's really no point. I can, however, recruit Jade Amazons. So with that money freed up, I can actually swap these from back to being Red Guard, because I was recruiting Imperial Horsemen to save resources. And I have 1 more holy point. Oh, I'm just short of the resources. Oof. That is rough. So Xenon here has 7 Red Guard and 9 infantry. We're going to send him up here to take this Lion Tribe province, which I think he can do. These armies, the combined armies, are going to move down here to Batagne and take Batagne with the Longbowman support. The Far Strikers I have for 1 more turn. I could also consider trying to steal somebody else's mercenaries, which might actually be helpful, because what I can do is, since I have 400 gold left, also I'm building a lab over here 1 month before I really need to, so that I can start moving that guy away to site search. I'm going to grab, let me see, because we've got the Fishermen and we've got Barelk's City Guard, which is just militia. That's only 6, though. I'm going to grab Barelk's City Guard, and we're going to bid, let's say, 235 for them. And in here, in this province, we've also been recruiting light infantry, so we're going to pump out a few more light infantry to join that unit. We will have a commander. Rhetoric will run over there, pick them up, and he will try to take these Lion Tribe. Lion Tribe are pretty garbage, so he could probably do it. Do I need another commander? No. I do not need another commander. Yeah, because see, Lion Tribe are... they're slightly better than militia. If we look at militia here, they have higher attack skill and protection, but other than that, they're very, very bad. So we may just be able to overwhelm them with numbers. That is kind of the goal. Like I said, this army will take that province. We'll kind of see what we have to see up here. At the very least, I want to have my cap circle, you know, completed in fairly short order. And once we have our Red Guard built up over there, we will send them into this province, into Panofia, and take that as well. We do have Jotunheim coming in against us. I fired off a message to him, which I actually did a little while ago. We'll see what's what. I'm going to move down here into Jotunheim's capital to take a gander at his stats as well. I can't let him have that province. So we're going to have to open negotiations on that basis. Jotunheim is not allowed to have Benofia. Now, I could potentially... This army can't reach in one turn is the only reason why I'm not moving in that direction, because these longbowmen would absolutely shred his Garmherdings. But I can't reach, so we're just gonna have to kind of see, you know, it'll be what it is. But that's gonna have to be the next target after this. And that'll be fine. We will, we'll be in okay shape so long as he doesn't push on. So I'm going to contact him again and let him know, you can't have 182, it's next to my capital, I will fight you. And we'll see what happens there. Bandarlog and I and Satis and I have both made peace, and we all love each other, and it's one big hunky-dory hugfest, and everything's cool forever. In those corners, definitely do need to grab Oak Beach, definitely do need to grab Dark Woods. I've negotiated with Satis taking this province, Neotha. Bandarlog doesn't seem to be terribly interested in moving in on it either, so I should be able to take it without too much trouble. So, that is turn 7, and I will see you all in turn 8. Alright folks, turn 8, and this turn had our first bump. So, as you see here, Shinuyama attacked Anasia, excuse me, that province to the north, with an expansion party led by a Bakemono general composed entirely of O-Bakemono. So these guys are cheap in terms of resources, they're expensive in terms of gold, and they are basically ogres. Like, O-Bakemono are stat-wise very, very similar to ogres. They are undisciplined, and they have dark vision. Those are the main differences. I think the mountain survival, I don't think ogres have mountain survival. But in any case, these guys just came running in against these lion tribe and clubbed them to death pretty rapidly. They did take a few casualties, mainly from the archers, I believe. At least most of the damage was inflicted by the archers. But they basically clubbed their way right through. Did pretty well for themselves. Lost 5 out of their 17. And then we attacked Indonesia. And the glorious Imperial Army of Tianqi functioned just as intended. Namely, the footmen went in and died, while the Red Guard charged around back, massacred the leadership, and then stormed in and cut the ogres down as they attempted to flee. We did lose one guy. This Red Guard here was unfortunately tragically clubbed to death. But look at Zenon going in. He's going ham. But we massacred all the remainders. There were no survivors. We lost our 9 footmen and 1 Red Guard in exchange for 12 O-Bakemono. You can see they're 25 gold, and a Bakemono general. So we definitely came out of there on top in terms of resource expenditure. We lost 90, 140 gold, and we killed almost 400 gold, which is totally worth it. In Betane, likewise, our army engaged with the backup of these mercenary longbows. Just a couple infantry up front. The longbows started doing work nice and early, and the militia actually routed almost instantly. Our Red Guard then charged in to attack the leadership, while the enemy heavy infantry was fighting our footmen. Our footmen are actually a pretty decent match for heavy infantry. They have less protection, but more defense. So we routed the enemy leadership, and then came in and cut down the remainder of their infantry from behind. Total casualties, we did lose our mercenary captain to a stray arrow. Lost 2 of our archers and 2 of the longbowmen. So that unit of mercenaries is now gone. And in Bethine, which we are building our fort in, we see a barbarian attack is about to occur. Now, fortunately, the palisade is going to be done next turn. We also already have 16 defense here, but I'm going to kick it up to 21. That should be able to hold off a barbarian attack. We get a number of Imperial archers. We've got some, well, the militia are almost worse. We've got quite a few footmen. We've got some regular archers, some footmen. I don't know. They might be able to hold it off. They might be able to. Up here, this guy, whose name I cannot pronounce, is building a lab, so we can start recruiting Jade Sorceresses. This army is actually not going to take a province. Neither of these provinces are particularly vulnerable. I could potentially take that one, but Woodsman and Blowpipes are kind of scary. Because they have sleep poison. Well, I mean, I guess my Red Guard can take him. I can probably take this province. And it doesn't appear to have enemy dominion in it. Enemy dominion, enemy dominion. Well, I'm thinking about it. This province is definitely not takeable with 5 Red Guard. I'm sorry, 6 Red Guard. Just because they have, well, for one thing, they have low hit points right now because it is late fall. And so the Red Guard are at their weakest ebb, their lowest ebb. In fact, I might swap these Red Guard out for Imperial Horsemen. Red Guard are good and all, and their stats are high, but they do suffer from this problem where their hit points go down. But the problem is you only get 1 more Imperial Horseman than you do Red Guard. See, I can get 6 Red Guard here, and then or 7 Imperial Horsemen. I could go down to Heavy Horsemen, in which case I could get more, but like I could do that. I could do 3 Red Guard and 5 Heavy Horsemen, or I could get 10 Heavy Horsemen instead of 5 Red Guard. That's a lot more attacks, but they're just so much worse. I mean, their defense skill is so much lower. Their protection is the same, but it's pretty mediocre. Their defense and attack skills are much, much lower, though, and they don't have the falchion attack. So they're a lot worse in combat. If I was going to go down, I would just go down to Imperial Horsemen. Let's stick with the Red Guard for now. And then just a couple of token infantry. Their defense skill is so high that honestly the bad HP doesn't matter all that much, because usually they're not getting hit. And they do quite well. I just noticed a Discord message. Give me just a second here. Okay, that was Shinuyama. I did send a message to Shinuyama informing him that I was taking Pergami. He's just sent a message saying that he would prefer us to go the other way. Now, I know for a fact that he's at least this far off. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell him no. Like, sorry, by proximity, that's actually closer to us. And so we're going to hold on to it. And we're certainly going to take Panofia as well. So, the borders of our empire, we still have plenty of independence around us that we need to get started taking, to be honest. But the borders of our empire are pretty solid right now. What I am going to do, actually, here, is I'm going to take these 5 Red Guard, give them to... You're 14, you're 12. Give them to this guy just to move. And then up here, we're going to recruit Magnus's crossbows, and we're going to bid all our money on Magnus's crossbows. So 261. 20 crossbowmen are a pretty formidable force, and with 20 crossbowmen and 11 Red Guard, we can probably take this province. They got militia, knights, and longbowmen. I think our crossbows can handle it if we get those mercenary crossbows. Now, the other thing that we could do is these guys have map move 14. Yeah, it's only map move 14 is the thing. 8, 14, so I could get up to Tianqi in one turn if I abandoned the infantry. But I'm not convinced that would be worth it. Not at all convinced. I'm going to cancel those archers. Over here, oof, only Lion Tribe. Ugh, that's rough. We've got this commander with the light infantry, so Rhetoric is going to dodge back, actually. And what's going to end up happening here is we're going to go up there, we're going to attack Pergami next turn. You can't reach up there, can you? You can, actually. I could send my light infantry in as well. So I have 11 Red Guard, 20 crossbows, then adding in 12 light infantry could help. Because what I want... ideally, is I want to take both of these provinces simultaneously. I think I have to split up in a little bit of a risky way to do that. No, actually, that province, I think I should be able to take that province with this force. Just because the Red Guard should be able to skate around back and kill the... and wipe out the leadership pretty solidly. So you're weakest in, so you get increased hit points during spring. And of course, lowered hit points during fall. Now, I wonder if the hit points are lowest in winter? I think the hit points are lowest right now. I think this is the worst turn for HP for me. Niflheim did step aside, and I've now got my spy in here. So we're going to infiltrate to reveal the score graphs of Jotunheim, which will be neat. Very, very neat indeed. Could recruit more Imperial consorts, or I could recruit a couple of eunuchs, but I don't want to. When I have this palisade built, and while it is completing, I will recruit eunuchs here and spread them out to get my province defense up. Just for fun, basically. Because I think, or actually, yeah, because Imperial consorts are 2 recruitment points. Well, I may actually spend the time to recruit another Imperial consort while I'm upgrading the fort. In any case, so the question is whether I'm willing to gamble that my Red Guard and crossbows can take this province without further support. And that reminds me, I'm actually going to bid all of my gold on Magnus's crossbows because it is important that I get them. They are very, very valuable as ranged support to help take out the knights and such here. This army, yeah, I think this army can take this province, so I'm going to gamble on that, and we're going to send the light infantry to support this push to take Pergami. So that will be the plan. That will definitely be the plan. This will be done, as I said, next turn. We've got 21 province defense in this province, so the barbarians should hopefully bounce. We're building the lab there. Having these really good scales is really, really helping because it means I have the income to build infrastructure fairly quickly early on. This would actually be a pretty good place for a fort as well, but then so would Ministra. However, I have this province now, so I think I'm going to build a fort here. So this guy will build the lab, then he'll move down here. I will recruit another commander there next turn, so turn 9 and turn 10, I'll begin building my 3rd fort. That will put me very much on track. Right now, so it's turn 8, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 provinces. I'm not going to take any provinces next turn, unfortunately. I desperately need more provinces. But, ooh, Hoburgdorf. But, alas, needs must when the devil drives. There's no point in just taking provinces. What I need is, I need provinces to secure my, I need these 2 to secure my borders, and then I need these 2. This one definitely I need, Oak Beach. Oak Beach is critical. And then ideally I'll also take Ministra, but I don't know if Ulm is going to get there first or somebody. So, that is turn 8, and I'll see you all in turn 9. Oh, wait, research. Let's talk about research. We're going down to Conjuration level 3. We're at 50 research points per month because we've been moving mages around. And for this early in the game, that's for before the 2nd fort, that's actually pretty decent at this point. So yeah, we're going to hit Conjuration level 3, and then we're going to go down Evocation to Gifts from Heaven, which will be our staple evocation spell early on. Now, it is expensive in fatigue, so you really want 8 slaves in order to cast it effectively, because that pushes you up to Earth 4. But then you can also cast Summon Earth Power very easily, and you can combine Summon Earth Power with Power of the Spheres in order to buff your slaves. So you have 2 masters, one casts Earth Power, one casts Power of the Spheres. That buffs your slaves up 2 levels and all of your masters up only 1 level each for those 2 masters. That makes your slaves more powerful than the masters, so they take less fatigue. That's going to be important if we're relying on spamming a spell that fatigue intensive in a communion. Because with 50 fatigue cost, what we want is, we want the Power of the Spheres and Summon Earth Power to boost the slaves up to above the level of the masters, and we want the masters to be level 4, effectively. So that means we want 8 communion slaves, because what that'll do is level 4 will cut the fatigue cost in half, which will make it 25, and then boosting the slaves up above the masters will cut it in half again, making it 12.5. Once you divide that among the master and 8 slaves, now you're looking at about 1 fatigue per round per cast, and the Earth Power is giving 4 reinvigoration a round, plus their native 1 reinvigoration a round, so they'll be able to support several masters casting Gifts from Heaven if you have 8 slaves in that configuration. And they shouldn't be actually taking fatigue at that point. They should be just fine. So that should give you at least 4 rounds of basically free Gifts from Heaven spam. And then after that, they will default to Earth and Astral spells, which are the only paths they have. Those are both on path. They'll be at quite high paths in path levels, and so that should be fine. It shouldn't damage my communion much at all. I should be able to build quite robust communions so long as I stick to Imperial Geomancers. Now, it'll get more complicated once I start mixing other mages in. For example, if I put in the Celestial Master, then I'm going to get some off-path spells, and that will kick my fatigue up radically. However, having a Celestial Master with a nature random in there to cast Relief and Howl and stuff like that, very, very useful. So I'll want a few Celestial Masters, not all that many. The other option is to forge Crystal Matrixes and get an Imperial Alchemist in. Imperial Alchemists can do high-level nature spells very easily, and they can also do like Flaming Arrows and stuff. And since I can forge Crystal Matrixes natively, that is not a problem for me. So, but that's all later strategy. For right now, we're just consolidating our borders. If I can manage to get, honestly, if I can get these two and those two, I'll be fine. That'll be 12 provinces. I'm probably not going to get them by turn 12, because turn 9, turn 10, I'll have these two. My Palisade will be in the process of being upgraded. I'll be building troops here. So by turn 12, I should have these 3, hopefully, but I may not have Oak Beach yet, and having Oak Beach would be very, very valuable, as I said. But in any case, I will see you all in turn 9. Alright, Mandala turn 9. We've hit Conjuration level 2. We have infiltrated Jotunheim, which means we should be able to look at the score graphs. So Jotunheim has one more province than we do. They have fewer forts. We just finished our fort. Their income is a little lower than ours. Gem income the same. We don't get to see their research dominion. We do get to see their army size, which is about the same as ours. So we don't get to see this, I think, because it would have to be a mage infiltrating in order to know that. So that is fine. We can now move Ying Ying away. We can re-infiltrate if we need to see that again. We were attacked by barbarians, and as predicted, they bounced off our province defense. Tianqi's PD is actually pretty solid. So you see here, we've got our Imperial Archers, our Footmen, and then we've also got our independent units, as well as a eunuch and a commander and a bunch of militia. And so the barbarians came in, like a wrecking ball. They got really shot up on the way in. They hit our polearms really hard, but then the militia basically stood there and held them off while the archers did the killing until they ran. So, you can see our Imperial Archers. Actually, the militia got quite a few kills off those archer-weakened troops. The archers between them killed 10. The footmen only killed 2 because they were then immediately murdered. And we managed to recruit Magnus's crossbows, but not in the province where I wanted them. And I'm not sure why, but they're down here, when I thought and hoped that they would be up here, which is where I moved all my troops. Oh no, wait, that's right. No, it isn't. I was going to send them into this province. I wanted to recruit them here. I must have accidentally selected the wrong place. In any case. So, we now have our second fort. We're going to start recruiting Imperial Geomancers. We also need to start upgrading that fort. That leaves us with only 100 gold. So in this province, we are actually going to start recruiting Imperial Crossbowmen, which will use up our resources very quickly. Yeah, we can get 3, and then with 19 resources left, we can also get a footman, or we can get most of a 4th crossbowman. Okay, let's do that. Building the fortress, that'll take a couple of turns, and that is the end of our expansion southwards. Because that is Ulm. So New U needs to search for magic sites. Pikeneers, Wolf Tribe Archers, and Slingers. Not a very impressive suit of troops. Alright, so Mr. Magnus here. We're going to have to go into that province because that's the province that we have available to attack. So Fu Manchu and Rolf Magnus are going to go in there. We've got crossbowmen shooting there. Let's put them in a line behind our archers. Got the Red Guard attacking rear. We've got our 4 infantry attacking closest. Should be okay. Up here. I don't really feel confident about this. It will depend on how many knights there actually are. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take Mr. Tan. I'm going to give him these troops. Mr. Tan's going to move up there. Liu Jing is going to search for magic sites. Rhetoric is actually going to attack, and we're going to script him to just retreat. So he's going to be way in the back. He's going to retreat. He's going to tell me how many knights there actually are. Actually, there's no point in doing that if I'm waiting a turn. I kind of want to go in right now. These light infantry will not hold up, but I mean, with 11 red guard, they still only have 6 hit points is the thing. So fighting against knights, they're actually going to be kind of at a disadvantage. They have higher stats, but lower hit points. Oof. It's a tough one. I think I'm going to go in. I think I'm going to go in because this army should be able to clean up if they bounce. Why don't you search for magic sites? Stop recruiting them. It takes 130 to recruit a Jade Sorceress. Let's stop recruiting them for a moment. We're going to start recruiting Jade Sorceresses. And up here, we are going to recruit... We're going to switch to recruiting Imperial Horsemen instead of Red Guard, because Red Guard are more expensive in gold. We can get 7 Imperial Horsemen and then 2 Footmen, when we could with Red Guard get 1, 2, 3, 4. We can only get 4. So 7 versus 4, I'll take the Imperial Horsemen. Great. Hosenkyu or Ku, however you do, I still haven't asked anybody how to pronounce that. That's okay. An ethereal nature mage with healer and invulnerability is pretty freaking good, to be fully honest. But let's keep her researching for right now. My research is still pretty slow. That fortress will be up in 2 turns. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Didn't I have a 3rd palisade? Not yet, that's right. It's turn 9. Next turn. This wouldn't be a bad place to build one. So I tell you what, let's move... Oh yeah, that's right, I was going to move him down there. Let's move him down there. He can start that next turn. And then the palisade will be done early, before the mid of next year, which will be just fine. We're getting our Imperial Crossbowmen there. Our Imperial Horsemen over here. So the Grand Imperial Army is growing apace. I wanted to take out those Lion Tribe, that's right. Mr. Tan... Actually, just keep these troops here. And Mr. Tan, do not move. Mr. Tan, just research, because these guys are going to go in. They're going to give it a shot. I think... I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see. I think even if they lose, I think this army, like I said, should be able to clean up. So we're going to... Unless... Can Magnus reach? Magnus cannot reach. That's so frustrating. I thought I'd recruited them there. Oh well, I must have just been wrong. I've been wrong before. It's happened. Hierophagus here needs to move up. Hierophagus. Lol. So rude. I am such a rude person. We need to take Neotha, and we also need to take Darkwoods, and of course Oak Beach. We've got to take Oak Beach. That is so vital. So vital. 200 income from that province. I love it so much. I want that province so badly. All 3 of these provinces are fantastic, to be honest. And of course Tianqi is making almost 500 gold a turn because of my amazing scales. So that, I think, is going to be turn 9. 2 or 3 turns we should have Conjuration level 3. Which will be excellent. And then, of course, we're just going to bomb down Evocation as rapidly as possible to get up to our Drop Rock spell and become amazing. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 10. Alright, folks, it is turn 10 in Mandala, and holy crap! You just found 4 magic sites. So, Well of Whitewater, Chasm of Strain Lights, Enchanted Pyre, and Glen of Verdant Greenery. So, Water, Earth and Astral, Fire, and Nature. He literally found one of every type of gem except air that he could possibly find. So, that went well. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. I find that superbly amusing. We're going to want to start building a palisades down there, so we're going to cancel a couple of units real quick. That will give us exactly 600, so we'll start our palisades. And looking at our messages, there was a battle in Panofia. Let's view that. So we've got our crossbows, we've got our red guard, and I think we've got this one in the bag. I think. We're into the archers, we've got the enemy infantry moving forward, but they run, and we wipe them out. So we lost 3 of our footmen. and no other casualties. And then Pergamy, we had a battle there as well. So on our side, we've got our light infantry and our red guard. On the enemy side, we've got... Oh, that's a lot of knights. Okay, that's unfortunate. They've got one knight commander up there, more knights. Looks like they may just have one knight commander and one priest, though. But yeah, the knights are going to intercept my red guard. And so knights, they don't have the defense skill of red guard, but they have quite a bit more, they have a little bit more protection. And their attack skill is pretty decent as well, plus their damage is fairly high. So, this is probably going to be ugly. Oh, well, okay, okay. We're doing a lot of damage here. But then I think we lost our commander. But we routed the enemy commanders too. So... Yeah, because we killed both the knight commanders and the priest. Oh no, one knight commander lived. So hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up. We didn't kill any of their knights, technically. Wow. Yowza. So where was the other knight commander? Because that's a knight. That's the priest. That's a knight commander. Ah, so they had two knight commanders up front. And of those two... Oh no, those two were both killed. And I guess that one must have run? No, that was just a regular knight. So hold up. What knight commander lived? Ah, that one. Okay, so he lived. So they do still have one knight commander. Okay, that's too bad. So we failed there, but they only have a few units left. So what we're going to do is we are going to have this army attack in. And then up here, we're going to have Zenon attack in as well with his red guard. So we'll have 2 units of red guard attacking rear. We'll have our archers in the middle. And the archers, nope, don't do that. And the archers should be able to pretty much take out the knights. Great. So that's fine. I have exactly 0 gold left, which is super unfortunate. Let's cancel a couple of crossbows so that we can pump some province defense into here. Great. Okay. We're recruiting our first Jade Sorceress next turn. We've got Wang Laoju building a palisade. I've got Rhetoric up here, who's a commander. Antonius actually jumped down here so you can take over building the palisade. New Yu is going to keep moving around and site searching, because that's super, super nice. I love that that happened. And yeah, so my gem income now, I've got 1 fire, 1 air, 2 water, 2 earth, 3 astral, and 1 nature. When I started off with earth, water, astral, and air. Excellent. Okay, great. Over here, we'll get our first Imperial Geomancer next turn in this province, in Bithine. We're slowly building up the Imperial Crossbows. Switching to anything else wouldn't really help. Just because, I mean, it would be slightly, it's 3 less gold per archer. But these guys would save us 6, so I could theoretically get 3 archers instead of 2 Imperial Crossbows, but I honestly don't care that much. So, Rhetoric is going to take this army. All these guys. And these guys are going to be on attack rear. These guys are going to be on attack closest. And Rhetoric is going to be holding... Actually, he's going to be holding behind the red guard. And he is going to go over there. And then that, they might be able to clear that with the 13. Especially because next turn it will be... Well, we'll hit this province first. We'll hit Darkwoods first, and then we'll move up. This fortress will be done next turn, and then Mistalo will be able to take whatever Imperial Crossbows we've recruited and move up here into Darkwoods as well, and then we'll try to go after Oak Beach and clear that out. So everything is going pretty hunky-dory, to be honest. Liu Jing needs to move back down here so he can continue to research. Our research is picking up. We're up to 74 research points per turn. Hosin Q can build... I'm losing my mind again. The feathers. Owl quills. That's it. The air item that you can use to increase your research. But to be honest, I'm not too terribly concerned with it. I get good enough research anyway that I don't need to be bothered with it right immediately. So after we hit Evocation 5, then we'll grab Construction. Actually, we're at Construction level 1 already. We might as well grab Construction level 2. I think it'll speed me up. So we'll go Conjuration, we'll then get Construction level 2, and then we'll go Evocation 5, because I think it'll only take me a 1-turn detour to grab it. And then we'll just turn our air gems into quills real quick. Won't be no trouble. And that is Ashdod. Ashdod has a single commander in the Plane of Memories. Hi, Nasajin, how you doing? So right now, it's turn 10. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 provinces. 10, hopefully, next turn. After that, that army is going to have to go somewhere. That province is really not worth fighting over. We'll take those two. We'll hopefully take that one. That one. Yeah, okay. We should be able to do some things. I'm not going to be able to rehire. Well, I still have 2 turns on Magnus's crossbows, so I may be able to get them. Satis is hiring a ton of mercenaries. They're spending a lot of money, a lot of money on mercenaries. And that, of course, is Ulm. And his army has not, it's pulled back in a way, but it's not left my borders, which is a little bit concerning. We are still recruiting a ton of Imperial Horsemen, which is great. We're actually going to cancel that infantryman because we don't need him. Instead, we'll grab another Imperial crossbow. So we're going to go with the cavalry and crossbow army for the nonce. And should be good. So Pergamy, if we look at Pergamy, how many units do they have left? They lost everything but their 12 knights. So all they've got is 12 knights and 1 knight commander. So that being so, actually we should not be attacking rear because it won't actually do anything for us. Instead, we should get our commanders like right up here in the crossbow line. And we should just hold an attack closest. And just put him in with them. Yeah, like that, so that we can provide a little bit of body cover for our crossbows. And then when we charge in, these guys will be able to hold the knights back pretty effectively. They are better than knights, although not by much. But they're back up to 12 hit points, which is very, very important. And then in the spring, of course, they'll have a bunch more hit points. So we have 8 of those, plus 1 badly crippled up footman. And then we have our 32 missile units. And they should be able to do just fine against 12 knights. So that'll be the plan. Next turn we'll take Darkwoods. Then we'll move on to Oak Beach with whatever other recruitment we have. So yeah, we'll move there, take that. Then we'll take the cavalry, jump back to Tianxi as we take Darkwoods. And then by that time it should be spring. I don't think we can make Tianxi from there. Yeah, because that's 20 move points. Too bad. Very too bad. Okay, we'll see. It may be 2 or 3 turns before we can take Oak Beach, but I really want that income. That income is so delicious to me. It'd be so glorious. So, that's turn 10, and I'll see you all in turn 11.